meeting to order at 5:30 PM. Moving on to item 1B. Mrs. Ansel, can you please take roll?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Here.
Vice President Robert Ocampo,
Here.
Clerk Beatriz Perez. Here. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera. Here. Trustee Jose Antonio Jimenez. For our present, Mr. Jose Antonio Jimenez is absent.
Thank you. Moving on to item 1C, Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight's Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Erandi Reese and Kenya Perez from Fremont's Student Leadership.
Please stand for the flag salute and put your right hand over your heart.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job.
Okay, moving on to item 1D, Spotlight. This is an opportunity to feature up to a 3-minute presentation, the positive things that are taking place throughout the district. Do we have any spotlights this evening?
Yes, we do. We have a spotlight. Mr. Josue Diaz will be spotlighting one of our retirees tonight. And she's here with us tonight, so.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Guadalupe Aguayo is joining the district on October 12, 1983, and has devoted 42 years to supporting every school in our system, actually. She's worked at every school at Alisal. Her retirement on December 31st of this month marks the close of a career defined by care, steadfast service to our community. So we extend our deepest appreciation for her lasting contributions, and congratulations on your retirement. And if you can come up, we're going to take a picture from the front of you. So if you can come on up and board, we're going to be over here to take a picture.
Okay, moving on to item 1. Oh, is there any more spotlights? Sorry. Any more spotlights? No? Okay, so we're moving on to item 1E, adoption of the agenda. May I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Ms. Gilbas Barrera, can I get a second?
Second.
Mr. Ocampo, comments, questions? Okay, Mrs. Zanto, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Trustee Robert Ocampo,
Yes.
Trustee Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Thank you. Moving on to item 2, public comment concerning items on the open session agenda and/or non-agenda items. Guidelines, there will be a 2-minute limit for individuals and a 20-minute limit on total public comments. There is no ceding of one's time to other individuals. A, individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees on open session agenda items and/or other items may do so at this time. And starting time is 5:35.
I don't have any public comments.
Okay, we'll also then be closing, ending time will be 5:35 as well. Item B, association comments, Alice Sal Teachers Association.
Okay, there we go. That's on. Good evening, Board of Trustees, Cabinet, and the AUSD community. Tonight, I would like to speak about item 6H on the agenda, which is in regards to the Orinda Baseline Study on Instruction. The timing of when this study would occur would be during prepping our students for the LPAC, as well as when our students would be taking the LPAC. Another concern ATA has is with regards to shadowing students during the school day without students knowing it. This is the part of what would be done for the study. Although we have been told no names would be used, if parents found out that their children are being shadowed for a study without their consent, they would be upset, especially with everything currently going on in the US. Another concern I would like to touch on is with the cost of the study, $221,138. This is a lot of money that is being used. We should be looking at other companies that can do the same kind of study in the bids and compare them, not just go with one. We were not given a clear response as to why the 4 schools were chosen to be the main focus of the study. It's imperative that the concerns we have are fully addressed before signing up for this baseline study. Thank you.
Okay, how about California School Employees Association, Chapter 577? Anybody here from classified? Nope. United Substitute Teachers Union? No, thank you. Moving on to item 3, the annual organizational meeting of the Board of Trustees. So A, annual organization meeting. Time will be 5:37. And we are going to move on to item 3B, nomination and election of board officers and representatives for the year 2026. Item 3C, election of the board president. Okay, my fellow board members, would you like to nominate?
Can I nominate?
Yes, of course.
Ms. Gilpa?
Okay, Ms. Gilpas Barrera. Thank you. Ms. Gilpas, do you accept the nomination? Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Mr. Ocampo? Any, I guess I'm gonna do comments or questions, but I think we're fine. Mrs. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia?
Yes.
Trustee Robert Ocampo?
Yes.
Trustee Beatriz Perez? Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera?
Yes, and thank you.
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absence.
Moving on to item 3D, election of the board vice president. May I get a motion to elect the vice president?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Betty Perez.
Thank you. Ms. Perez, do you accept the nomination?
Yeah.
Okay, may I get a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Ocampo? Okay, Mrs. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia?
Yes.
Trustee Robert Ocampo?
Yes.
Trustee Beatriz Perez? Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
Moving on to item 3E, election of the board clerk. May I get a motion to elect board clerk? Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Okay, Ms. Garcia, do I accept that nomination? Okay, I do accept it. May I get a second? Thank you, Ms. Gilbas Pereira. Mrs. Ansel, may you please take the line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia?
Yes.
Trustee Robert Ocampo?
Yes.
Trustee Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Thank you. Moving on to item 3F, appoint the board secretary. And in this case, the board secretary is usually the superintendent. Do I need a
Yes.
motion to accept that nomination for the, do you accept that nomination?
I accept it.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Can I get a second? Mrs. Ansel, can you please take a line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia.
Yes.
Trustee Robert Ocampo.
Yes.
Trustee Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Item 3G, appoint the representative to the Monterey County School Boards Association, MCSBA Executive Council. Does anybody want to make a nomination?
I make a motion to nominate Mr. Roberto Campo.
Mr. Roberto Campo, do you accept the nomination?
Yeah, I'll accept it.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Perez, Mrs. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia.
Yes.
Trustee Robert Ocampo.
Yes.
Trustee Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. Moving on to item 3H, appoint a representative for the LSL Labor Management Accord, or ALMA. Can I get a motion for nomination?
Motion, Mr. Ocampo.
Do you accept the nomination, Mr. Ocampo?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Do I get a second? Or,
I'll second it, but I also have some questions.
okay. There's no room for comments or questions. Should I just, I could do, we could, let's just discuss now before I take the vote.
Thank
Okay,
you.
what comments or questions do you have, Ms. Gilbas?
So who's the representative now?
I do not know.
I don't know either, and I believe it's me. And I don't even know if LSL Labor Management still exists.
Mhm.
And if it does, for a whole year, I was not invited to attend. So I don't know if we should table this, look at it, or if we don't even have Alma, there's no reason for us to vote for a representative. Because I think it was me either this year or last year, but like I said, I never got one email inviting me. I don't know. Do you know if it exists? Uh-huh.
So I
Thank
can
you.
answer.
Thank you.
So it's in many ways now. So with what's left here, and I think when we were reviewing the agenda, one of the things that I brought up was this is left over from when we were going through training, when we were going through making sure that it was like an initiative of the district. As time passed, there are many different committees or bodies of leadership throughout the district that work in this way. Meaning there's labor, there's management at the table, there's voice, it's part of the ATA contract where there's for the PD committee. So there's different examples of how the framework of the labor management has been implemented throughout the district. The way it exists now, and it's something that if Mr. Ocampo would like to be part of, or we can sit down and rethink it with our labor partners, is it's done after we review the agenda with the unions. So every Monday before the board meeting, so this past Monday, we meet with the union partners, we review the agenda, and then we go into ALMA. And so they bring up any concerns that the unions might have, or we have district-wide concerns. So that's the way it has been done for the past 3 years now, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so we can add the board member there. Before this was the way it was done, it was an actual committee of a leader, I think it was a director, a principal, and then 2 union members, so CSEA and ATA. They would come up with the agenda, and then there would be a bigger group of different members, and that's when the board member would join. So it would be management from the district, management from the schools, and it would be different union partners that would come in, and then whatever was on the agenda was what was being discussed.
Okay, so then it would make sense to appoint a representative as long as the representative is invited and knows of that. And now, so did we have a motion on the floor
Yes.
Yes.
made by Mr.?
By Ms. Perez.
Oh, by
Yeah.
Ms. Perez. I would ask Ms. Perez if she would consider rescinding that only because, and you nominated Mr. Ocampo?
Yes.
We do have Mr. Jimenez. I know he's ill right now, but in the future, he might be feeling better. And I would feel very comfortable. I don't know, I'm asking also Mr. if we could nominate him to be this person. In the event that he can't, then he can, so I guess I'm making a substitute motion to appoint Mr. Jimenez as the ALMA representative. And when you do a substitute motion, you vote for that one first. And if it passes, then we don't have to go back. But I'm just kind of asking if they're okay with that.
I don't know, because I mean, she nominated him and he accepted it.
Mhm.
Are we
We're all
saying
looking at the
we're
attorney.
going to,
If not, that's fine. I mean, I'm
Sure.
just asking. Mhm.
or why don't we just table that one? Is that a bad thing? Since we don't even have dates yet or anything?
Let's see if we can hear from.
So to the extent it's helpful, I think the substitute motion might be better labeled as a tabling, just because
Yeah.
Mr. Jimenez isn't present to accept the
Oh,
nomination.
that's true.
And so I think it might be best to have the substitute motion be to table the matter until a future board meeting.
Is that okay with? Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so are we voting to table it?
Think so.
Do I need to get a motion for that? Okay, so let's get a motion. Can you take a line vote of the motion to table H?
Does somebody have to make the motion?
Okay, second. So can I get a second to table item H?
Motion, sorry.
Okay, Mrs. Perez?
Yes.
Okay. Would you please take the line vote? Yes, okay, so,
Trustee Leticia Garcia,
yes.
trustee Robert Ocampo,
Yes.
trustee Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Guilpas Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0, when absent.
Okay, item 3HI. The
Mhm.
Board of Trustees adopts its calendar of regular meetings for the year 2026. May I get a motion to adopt that calendar?
Motion.
Ms.
So
Perez? Or we?
I think there are two calendars, so which one are we adopting, right? So there's
Okay,
draft A and draft B. These were brought to the board back in our October meeting.
oh, I
And
see.
so we,
We're looking at these.
yes, we got some direction where we wanted a July meeting. So both versions have a July meeting. The difference is this, draft A, and it's A because that's the one staff is making a recommendation on, has 16 meetings. Draft B has 17 meetings. The difference is that the draft A has a January 14th meeting, so that means there's only one meeting in January. Draft B has 2 meetings in January and starts January 7th and the January 28th. That's the difference. Why the difference is our calendar for the winter break goes all the way, we're with students all the way to December 19th, and then people go on break.
Mhm.
So it's not about not being able to be here for the meeting on January 7th. It's about the prepping of the agenda when people are out on vacation.
So I have a motion right now from Ms. Perez again, but did you want to make a motion to adopt either A or B? are you thinking?
motion for A, draft A.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a second?
Second?
Ms. Guilpas Barrera? Ms. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
trustee Robert Ocampo,
Yes.
trustee Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Guilpas Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Item 3J, action item, adopt resolution number 2526-10, designating authorized agents to sign school orders. Can I get a motion? Ms. Gilbas Barrera, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Perez? Ms. Anzo, can you please take the line vote?
Yes, trustee Leticia Garcia.
Yes.
Trustee Robert Ocampo.
Yes.
Trustee Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Thank you. Moving on to item 3K, adjournment of the annual organizational meeting. Time adjourned, 5:50 PM. Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to item 4, presentations. A, school site presentation, Fremont Elementary School, Principal Alberta Bustamante.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Cabinet members, and community. My name is Alberta Bustamante, and I'm the principal of Fremont Elementary School. Before I start the presentation, I do want to shout out to certificated and classified staff, in addition to admin support. I wouldn't be able to do the work that I do without their support at the site. In today's information, it's on the overview, who we are as a school, focusing also on the academics and analyzing and interpreting the student data. And then students, changing systems for student learning. After analyzing the data, there needs to be some change, so we're looking at that too. And also the wellness team and community center and working together to promote a mindfulness and social emotional support, in addition to bringing in the families to the schools. Our mission is that Fremont Elementary is a community where every child receives an equal and equitable education. We also have our Fremont vision, and at Fremont, we encourage students to become lifelong learners and productive, positive, contributing citizens. And we also have our school, slogan, Falcons Soaring for Success, or to Success. As an overview, we have an enrollment, or student enrollment of 698 students. This is the first time that we actually go down, and we have less than 700. It's been past practice or past history and within Fremont that it's been over 700, closer to the 800. Little by little, as we've seen, the enrollment has been changing. We do have 10 one-way classes. 0 classes are considered English only. 4 classes are SEI. 13 classes are ELC. 3 classes are life skills. And then we also have our RSP caseload of 32 students. We have a migrant population of 123 at the site. And overall, we have 67% of our English learners, which consists of 467 students. We also have 109 students that are considered at risk of becoming long-term English learners, and we have 73 students that are already long-term English learners. We have 24 students that are newcomers, and we reclassified about 32 students last year, and so far we only have had 1 suspension. Chronic absenteeism, it's about 11%, and that's an area that we're looking at by having a committee that looks at the attendance of the students. And truancy and chronic absenteeism is the focus point. Our data. As we look at our data, I'm looking at the language arts SBAC, and I have data for the past 3 years. And what we notice that within students is that sometimes there's change. Sometimes it's not the same group of students, and sometimes they are. So if we look across 3rd grade, we've been kind of going up and down. We started with 15% in 22-23, and it went down to 11% in 23-24. But then it went up again to 15% in 24-25. If I look at 4th grade, across the 3 years, they did progress from 10% to 13 to 16. And then for 5th grade, it was 19%, 22%, and it went down to 21. They kind of stayed the same. Within sixth grade, they started at 38%, 25, and then it went up to 30%. That's just looking across the grades in the past 3 years, but it's different students. Now, the arrows that I have here shows that it's the same cohort, meaning that it's the same group of students moving up to another grade. Starting with third grade in 23-24, the students started with 11% and they went down to fourth grade, and that's what the arrow shows, that they went up to 16%. So there was progress within that group. Looking back in 22-23, they started off in third grade and they were 15%, 13%, and then they went up again to 21%. And looking at fourth grade, back in 22-23, those students started off with 10%, 22% the following year in fifth grade, and then they ended at 30% in sixth grade when they left Fremont. And looking at fifth grade, it's 22, in 22-23, it started off with 19% and it went up to 25%. So what we notice is that there is growth within the same students once they move up to a different grade level. But it does change when it's the same grade level a little bit. But now looking at this data is what kinds of changes are we making as a site? And I'll be talking about it later on. If I move on to math, it's a different story. And that's where we are concerned. And we're trying to figure out what next steps to take, because I have the data in a similar format as the language arts. So if I look at third grade, going across 22-23, they started off with 19%. It decreased to 18% and then to 15%. Then with the fourth grade, they started off with 10%, 10%, and then it went down to 8%. So it's staying the same, but then it's dropping. And then in fifth grade, we started out with 7%, moved on to 15%, and then 4%. And then in sixth grade, it started out with 15%, moved on to 11%, and then it ended with 22%. So it's the same grade level, same teachers, different group of students. And now looking at the same cohort, it does look different compared to language arts, because I started out with third grade in 23-24 that they started off with 18%, it did decrease to 8%. And then again, starting with third grade in 22-23, they started out with 19%. In fourth grade, they went down to 10%. And then in fifth grade, which was last year, they went down to 4%. They're the current sixth graders right now. And then in fourth grade, we started off with 10%, increased to 15%, and then it increased to 22%. And then with fifth grade, they started off at 7%, and it increased to 11%. So there's discrepancies here as far as the data. And if, to tell you the truth, we've been focusing a lot on the language arts and not as much on the math. So that's an area that we're focusing this school year. Just because we noticed a lot of students have or they're lacking foundational skills within math. Here is the data for science. For the past 3 years, we started out with 6%, and then it went up to 16%. But the growth that we made there, we kind of dropped in 24-25 because it went down to 7%. So again, science is integrated in the lower grades, and then it's done by itself in the upper grades. So that's another area that we're looking at, and we're talking to teachers that the emphasis is that we have to teach science starting in TK all the way to sixth grade. Because even though it's only the fifth grade students that take the test, it's all of us that contribute to their growth. Now we do have iReady, and it's the new software that is helping us identify gaps and give us an idea where we're at. And we just started using it last year. So we were learning the system, and now we're trying to understand it even more through the district's PD for teachers and just the staff in general. And we started off with reading. The baseline is basically the beginning of the school year, and is broken down into 5 different sections. It's the mid or above grade level, where we started at 1%. And early on, grade level, it's 8%. 1 grade level below, it's 26%. 2 grade levels below is 27%. Now, we also have students that are 3 or more grade levels below, and we started off with 37%. We just finished, like in November, with the second test. And if we notice, we did increase from 1% to 5% in the mid or above. So there's a 4% growth. And then in the early on, there was a growth of 1%, but then in the yellow, which is one grade level below, we increased it to 30%. We want to have higher numbers in the green and have less students in the red. So we did change from 27% to 29% in the 2 grade levels below. And then in 3 or more grade levels below, we went from 37 to 27, so it did decrease. So students moved over within those different categories. For math, we started off with 1% at mid and above grade level. It changed, and we had 2% in the early on, 37% in 1 grade level below, and 2 grade levels below started off with 35%, and then 3 or more, it was 25%. But if you look at the second row for the first trimester, mid and above increased by 1%, early on increased by 4%, and then 1 grade level below, it increased to 50%. So there was a lot of growth there. Within the 2 grade level below, it was 35 and it decreased to 23. So again, there was a big change. In 3 or more grade levels below, it increased or decreased 6%. But again, we want to have lower percentages within the red compared to the yellow and the green. So it's helping us as a site and as a district to analyze the data and see where we're at so that we could plan next steps with teachers and students. So some of the staff is letting the students know where they're at, and then also letting the parents know by providing the report once they take the test. But again, with this data is how do we change our systems and how do we make it better so that there's more student learning? So we had to make some changes within the academics. And we started off with 3 areas just because we needed to go back to basics. And looking at the room environment within language arts, math, and ELD. Anchor charts, sentence frames, vocabulary with pictures does help our students, especially because we do have a high population of English learners. So it's working together with the teachers and the leadership team and deciding this is an area that needs growth, this is what we're going to do. And with the support of the staff, we've been able to make some changes there. There's still areas of growth, but there's been change there. The other concept is the student engagement. Are students participating? Are they teaching each other? Are they talking to each other? Sometimes it could be the teacher that does a lot of the speaking. So we want to make sure that students do have some academic conversations within the lessons. So that's an area of focus. And something else that we worked on was the pacing guide by standard within language arts and math, and then looking at the instruction that's taking place in the classes. And a big component that is helping us with the teaching learning cycle is the vital protocols and having goals as a school and as grade levels. Again, the emphasis is on the standards, and within the protocols, we're looking at student work, we're looking at assessments, we're making observations of each other within the grade level, and that means the teachers go into another class to observe the instruction and give support. And also we continue with the PLTs as the grade level collaboration that helps with the planning, and overall it helps us with our professional growth. And something different that it's happening this year too is through parent trainings, United for Student Success, where I'm having monthly meetings, and we just started, and the topics that we covered were reclassification, Title I, and school data. But we want to make it a monthly basis with different topics that target the academics. We do some of the social, emotional, mental health through the coffee classes and community school, but parents need to be aware of what's happening academically, and it also helped that they provided some topics for later future meetings, like they want to know more about IEPs and SSTs. So it's also taking their feedback to provide that information during those monthly meetings. Something big, and I do want to say thank you to the backbone of our Walk to Read, Ms. Castillo, that has been a big supporting person just to start this whole concept, because it was all new. We used to do small group instruction, but sometimes it was doable, sometimes it wasn't. So what we did this year is that we focused on school-wide focus, where we targeted student skills gaps within 1st through 6th grade. So what is that? It's a 30-minute block daily instruction on a rotational basis in groups by skill in English and in Spanish. The students that haven't completed their reading foundational skills, that's their target. But those students that were assessed and completed the diagnostic test, they're focusing on the fluency and comprehension. Now, we have grade level bands, which means that within those 30 minutes, it's first grade and second grade teachers taking a group of students, in addition to the reading specialists, intervention teachers, the early literacy coach, and RSP teacher. So within that 30-minute block, all those people have a different group of students. Sometimes it could be 5 kids or 6 kids, or sometimes it could be 18, 15. It all depends on the data. And we're doing the 6-week cycle. And after that cycle, the students are assessed and they're regrouped. We're currently on our second cycle, and we're doing it on a daily basis from 8:30 to about 10:30, because it's also happening in 3rd and 4th grade, and it's also happening in 5th and 6th grade. Based on the first cycle, we were able to shift a lot of the students into other skills because there was progress. So if we continue with this concept, we will be able to cover the reading foundational skills, comprehension, and fluency. In addition to that, we do have the wellness team that is helping us out with information and having data so that we can address some of those gaps. So we know that we are doing some assessments. We know that we have students receiving a wellness pass to be able to talk to one of the wellness teams. We also have risk screeners that take place, and that's happening at the site. There's a lot of different discipline referrals.
You got about 1 more minute, okay? 'Cause
Okay.
then we could ask questions. Thank you so much. Sorry about that.
Okay. And so based on that information, we added some activities for lunch for the students in the school. Taking action, there's a lot happening with the students, monthly events, mindfulness activities, group counseling, grade level presentations. And once again, the community center was a big component to something different and bringing in our families. We're having English classes taking place in the school, leaders to parent workshops, Cara y Corazón, coffee classes that promote different activities. We are very proud of our team because they were able to register 440 students in the Call Kids. So that's about 48% of our students. And some of the activities and family supports that we have here is taking place at the site. And I just want to shout out to the volleyball team that won the championship this school year. So thank you, and if there's any questions, let me know.
Okay, I'm going to start over here, Mr. Campo. You have any questions, comments?
Let's see. No, I guess I was glad to see that you're doing your rotation groups by skill, so I think that's wonderful, because you're focusing on gaps, I'm assuming, right? And putting students together that need the same kind of help, or the
Yes.
same kind of gaps, and then you're working with them. So I think that's great, because I'm a great promoter of teaching the gaps.
Thank
Find
you.
the gaps and teach to it. It's not complicated, I don't think, right?
It could be
Or-
complicated
yeah.
because you have to have all the pieces together,
Oh,
the
okay.
manpower and the resources to be able to have every group have what they need.
Okay, so it sounds easy, but there is,
No, there's a lot
there's a lot of
happening.
work to make sure those groups happen and those students are, put together by their gaps, and
Mhm.
you have the resources there. And I guess it sounds easy, but it's not easy. There's another question, but I can't, oh, yes, I'm curious. I'm not familiar with the teaching learning cycles of, what is VITAL?
Vital is the system that's helping professional growth and learning how to collaborate, look at student work, look at assessments, analyze the standard, breaking it apart so that we make sure that we go into the class and teach what the standard is kind of guiding us, and then observing each other. That's another part of the protocol.
Is VITAL a computer program or
Mm,
methodology?
No, it's a coaching support.
Oh, it's a coaching support.
Yes,
What does it stand
the
for?
8 schools are participating this
Okay.
school year.
What does it stand for, the VITAL?
Yes.
Who knows?
I can't remember right now.
That's okay. I'll figure it out later. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, how about on this side, Guadalupe, Ms. Gilpas Varela? Do you have, okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. I don't even know what to say. I thank you for being so transparent. I wish, and I'm not just talking about Fremont, but I wish the news was more on the positive side as far as how our kids are doing.
Mhm.
You know, I know you said they do sometimes well in other areas. I like the graphs, but it's interesting. I'm thinking, and I'm not going to discuss it, but on the Orenda education that's on the consent agenda is to support teachers. Yet you have teachers at your school who don't want it. And yeah, I mean, I think there was a presentation. Yeah, I got a few phone calls. And so I had to read a little bit more
Mhm.
about what it was. And then we had our union president also say some comments on here that I'll save those questions for later. But I think I appreciate what you're doing as the principal and trying, and we're here to support. And with some of the things that we're going to put in place through our superintendent, going to be different. There's going to be more. The board is asking for more accountability. Our superintendent is asking for more accountability. Our board members are asking. I know Ms. Perez has brought out some points on that, but mainly we want to support our principals. Our goal is to support our principals and our teachers so that the results are a lot more positive than they have been. And the effort is there with our teachers. We just want to give them any tools they might need, or yourself or your staff.
And like I mentioned, the language arts, there is progress, and we've been focusing on the language arts. Now we're focusing on the math. Sometimes it does take time because you can't do everything at once, and there's a lot happening within the school and as a district. So the systems are changing little by little. A change is the vital, the walk to read, the standards, and looking at them differently in the way that we teach. So those steps are there, but now it's like, what next? Now we have to analyze the data whenever we do an assessment and make some changes because the change is what needs to happen.
Right. And I think it's this principle that's very difficult, being the one that's in charge of it. Not all of a sudden everything has to change, but it seems like there are areas where the students are doing well, are doing better. We hope that continues with your great leadership that I know is there. But I just want you to know that we're there. I mean, a lot of it's the board and the superintendent that's asking for more, but at the end of the day, it's for the little kids that are in the classroom. We want them to go to the middle school with a higher level of reading and math, not a very low one. Not just your school. I'm just saying in general.
No. And that's why we started the Walk to Read. And there's a lot that happens behind the scenes as far as planning, calendar, lessons, training. And Ms. Castillo has been a great support in that sense. But again, it's all of us working together and knowing where we're at and then doing those, making those goals to make sure that we achieve them.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And I hope you guys are all enjoying the new school. That's a good one.
We're almost done, but yes, we're enjoying it.
Thank you, Ms.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Perez, any comments or questions or?
Excellent job on your data analysis. I love it.
Thank you.
Like Mr. Ocampo said, how you're following the first grader when they jump to second grade, third grade. I love that. That tells you where that group of students needs work,
Mhm.
and you follow it through. But keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for presenting the data in a different way. I guess I do like the cohorts because that kind of more of a telling picture of how the student's doing throughout the
Mhm.
years. Can you just talk to me a little bit about Walk to Read? I never heard that. What is that?
It's a concept to work with smaller groups, but
Oh.
it's by skill. Let's say there's a group of students in first grade that don't know their letters and sounds. We're going to group them together and they're coming from different classrooms. It's
Oh.
not necessarily just one class. It might be First and second grade, we have these students working on ABCs. We might have another group that's working on silent E. There might be another group that's already passed the diagnostic test and they're practicing their fluency and the comprehension.
Oh, I see. So they're walking, the walk comes in from classroom to classroom. They're
Yes.
walking to, okay.
Yes, so students are mixing in with first and second grade, then
Uh.
third and fourth, and then fifth and sixth, 30-minute blocks.
Got it. Thank you so much, and I appreciate all that you do. I know it's hard work, but I mean, we have to do it, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so
Okay.
much for your time.
Thank you.
Moving on to item B, presentation, 2025 first interim budget report, Associate Superintendent, Business Services, Rais Obasi, and Director of Fiscal Services, Elaine Mendoza.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Cabinet, and community. My name is Elaine Mendoza, and I'm here with Mr. Arbasi, and we will be presenting our first interim budget report tonight. Okay. So this is our quarterly budget update. So every year, districts submit 2 reports to the governing board according to Ed Code. The report covers the financial and budgetary status of the district. The first interim report covers the period of July 1st through October 31st. For budget reports, assumptions are made based on information that is available at the time. So we look at enrollment. Enrollment will decline about 2.5% per year. Enrollment per ADA is at 95.46%. The funded ADA is based on an average of the previous 3 years, and the unduplicated count of eligible students is at 94.34%. For planning factors and comparison, we look at enrollment, funded ADA, unduplicated pupil count, and COLA. Here you can see the changes throughout each of the reporting periods. So at first interim, our enrollment is 7,108. The funded ADA is 6,930. The unduplicated pupil count is 94.34%, and COLA is at 2.30%. The funded ADA is based on a 3-year average. A few things to make note in our first interim report is it includes revenues, expense changes, and carryovers, which are budgeted. The certificated and classified salaries are adjusted for step and column changes. And the salaries include, this year, it does include the negotiated salaries and benefits for the fiscal year. So in this next slide, we have information to show what was settled during negotiations for the fiscal year. So this is for 2025-26. For the certificated on salary increase is 2%. Same for the classified group. The one-time off salary payment is 2.5% for the certificated, and for the classified, it's $1,500 per member. The district's benefit annual contributions are as followed. For employee only, it's a total of $11,700 per year. For employee plus one, it's $16,590. And employee plus family, it's a total of $21,060. And these amounts are the same for all groups across the board. Continuing to the highlights, the budgeted reserve, we are maintaining the 3% required by the state and the 7% that is designated by the board. Some contributions the district makes from the unrestricted funds is $15.4 million to special education, $5.5 million to routine restricted maintenance, and 2% for transportation. Here we have the balances for general fund. This is a combination of unrestricted and restricted funds. So on the last column, you'll see increases and decreases. from the adopted budget and first interim. So these are the changes we have. So at first interim, you'll see an ending fund balance of 59.4 million. Reserves is at 20.7 million, which is the 10% reserve. So here we have broken down the general fund a little bit more and distinguished the amounts between unrestricted and restricted funds. The unrestricted revenue is 96 million and leaving the ending fund balance of 53.1 million. The restricted revenue is 59.9 million with the ending fund balance of 6.3 million. For 2025-26, the allocations we have received so far is 5 million for ELOP, our Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, 1.5 million for arts and music in schools, and 1.6 million, this is our newer grant, is the Student Support and Professional Development Discretionary Block Grant. In the budget, we also make multi-year projections. Some assumptions that we make are class sizes, they're maintained at the current levels. The reserve is still at 10%. Step and column adjustments are also taken into account. And the projections include salaries and benefits for 2026-27. So here we have those numbers for the settlement for 26-27. Again, for certificate and classified, the on salary is 2%. For the one-time payment, the certificate is 2.5% and classified is 1,500 per member. The contributions for benefits is increasing more for that year as well. For employee only, it's 12,593. Employee plus one is 17,483. And for employee plus family plans, it's 21,953. For the multi-year projections, we look at the current year numbers and make projections for 2 subsequent years. So currently we are projecting for 2026-27 and 27-28. At the end of 27-28, we are projecting an ending fund balance of 36.2 million, and that's with our 10% reserve. So here we have several other funds. We always like to look at Fund 21 and 35 because they are our major funds. So Fund 21, you'll see the change through the beginning balance and ending fund balance, and this is with the completion of Fremont and Alisal. So those payments have been made, and you can see the balances going down. For Fund 35, we have ongoing projects as well, so you'll see more changes throughout the year as well. So next steps for 2025-26, we have the second interim report, which is in March. For 2026-27, we have the governor's budget proposal, which the workshop is in January and staff will be attending that. We have the May revision, and lastly, the budget and LCAP public hearing and adoption is in June. The year is going by fast. Oops. Okay. So lastly, staff recommends that the Board of Trustees approves the filing of the fiscal year 25-26 first interim budget report with positive certifications. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start on this side. Ms. Gilbert, do you have any questions?
I just had one question. Thank you. I know this is a lot of work. You know, they say you have to be a board member like 6 years before you can understand a budget. I've passed those 6 years and I think I need another 6 because it's very difficult to understand and, you know, and to, you know, but we do appreciate your work. I just have one question on the reserve. It's at 10%. And how much, I tried to look for it, but couldn't find that. It's over $20 million.
For the current year?
Yeah, what it is now at the 10% in dollars.
It is, let me combine it. For unrestricted, yeah, 20.7.
And so what kind of funds, how can that money be used in case we needed to use it? Because I don't think we've ever had to go into it, but as far as I can remember.
So this is our savings account. And this is a discretion of Board of Education to use it any way they want it. But this is also our rainy day fund. God forbid something happens to our buildings and we have to do something very quickly. This is the only money we have to spend.
An
And once we do
emergency.
use this money, we are done. We have nothing left. So required by state of California is about 3%, which is less than 2 weeks of payroll, which is nothing. So we need a bigger balance. So at least make payments to our employees and vendors. So sometimes in dollars it looks big, but actually it's not that much amount.
Yeah, considering the school budget.
Yes.
Thank you. That was my only question.
Ms. Pettis, any questions or comments?
Do these grants budgets have a deadline, or do you get them and then you can use them whenever?
Go ahead.
It depends on which grant, but they all do have a timeline. So for ELOP, for example, that one, you have about 2 years to spend it. If we don't spend it, then it goes back. Like the community schools one, we had 5 years. The new one that we have, which is the support and what is it, professional development one, that one, I think we have, I believe, 3 years.
So for like the 21 you were saying, there's a little remaining? Is there a deadline for that? And is it gonna get used or?
For Fund 21?
Yes.
For Fund 21, there's no deadline for that one, but that one is used for construction and any maintenance projects that we have going on.
Okay, but no deadline.
No, not that we know of as of now.
Okay, thank you.
Just a small clarification, that Fund 21 is not grant or entitlement. That's our GO bond. That's our measure A and M. It's a voter passed measure. So the community of East Salinas passed those measures for maintenance and construction of new buildings. So that has a specific use. It cannot be used for operating expenses or other things. Only purpose we have is maintenance of construction plans.
But no deadline.
Usually it does have a deadline, but it has a different kind of mechanism. After we sell GO bond in the open market, because we sell our bonds in open market, we have 36 months to spend that money. So usually when we sell our bonds in the market, we already have a plan to spend. In this case, after selling our bonds in the market, we immediately started building LSL and Fremont phase 3s.
Oh,
So we did have timeline, and we are very much on top of that timeline.
good. Thank you.
Thank you. So just, so on the ELOP, so we have $5 million. We have more than that, right? ELOP is giving us way more than that. Every so often we get money from ELOP.
So the 5 million is just what
For
we've
2 years?
received so far for this year.
Oh.
We are estimated to receive the 18 million, the full 18 million, but for right now, I'm just reporting on what we've received so far. So
Uh-huh.
each year is about 18 million.
A lot of money. Wow. And now we don't have, it doesn't, does it carry over? I don't remember. Does it carry over? Like, let's just say you don't spend it this year. Does it carry over next year?
So we do have 2 years to spend the ELOP. So right now we are spending last year's funds, the 18 million. So this year, whatever we received, it can be, we have until next fiscal year, the end of,
Okay.
so 2027 to spend that.
Mhm. Yeah, it is a lot of money. But actually, that's a very good, I guess, problem to have, right? I mean,
It keeps
'cause
us busy.
yes.
ELOP is running.
with the reserves, do we earn interest on the reserves? Do we earn interest on anything that's like, we have 3%, then we have 7%. Are we earning interest on any of those reserves or?
Yes, we do earn interest from that. And as a matter of fact, we bring a quarterly investment report Board of Education
Yeah.
every 3 months.
Uh-huh.
And we reflect the amount of money we receive. We also show the percentage we
Mhm.
receive on annualized basis.
Mhm.
So yes, we do receive interest from that.
And when you receive the interest, is that considered unrestricted? Or it just stays in that pot?
It depends. If
Oh.
we have categorical programs like ELOP, that
Right.
stays with ELOP program.
I was just specifically thinking about the reserves. Is that
Yes, so we do
Unrestricted?
get that, and that, generally speaking, because unrestricted is a bigger pot of money, the
Right.
money stays there as local income, and we can spend that any way we want it.
Okay. Well, I don't have any other questions. I mean, it looks like we're pretty solvent, right? I think we are.
Yes, we are. For current year and the next 2 years, we have a nice, healthy balance.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time and your presentation. Okay, we're going to move on to item 5, board member superintendent reports. Should I start with the superintendent or how about board members? I'm going to start off with you, Mr. Ocampo.
Why not? Okay, I'll be brief, guys. So,
Okay.
yes, I know people don't want me to talk forever. Anyway, so so we did attend the California School Board Conference in Sacramento, December 2nd and December 4th. So on the 2nd, I attended an all-day workshop. It started at 9:30 in the morning and ended at 4. That was a long day, but I survived and I was there present, you know. So the workshop was on advanced government skills workshop for trustees. So I guess I'm skilled now. Anyway, some of the topics that were covered by the workshop were things like emotional intelligence, conflict management, and something called the Pyramid of Planned Outcomes. Sounds kind of cool. But anyway, apparently it's a methodology for accomplishing your goals, you know, kind of a methodology for doing that. That was interesting. Other workshops I attended were innovative CTE programs, launch student careers, advancing school finance skills for board members, and also shoulder to shoulder, the case for in-person student mental health support. At the conference, I also ran into John Arriaga. John Arriaga is an old friend. We both attended UC Santa Cruz in the early 70s. John is the owner president of JEA and Associates, which is a consulting firm specializing in governmental relations and public affairs. And interestingly enough, John, when I spoke to John, he said he was working with the Latino Film Festival. I'm not really quite sure what he meant by that, but that's what he said, and that he's looking for districts to work with. So with that in mind, I'm going to at some point set up a meeting with John to see if we can incorporate the Latino Film Festival into our district. If anybody would like to meet, also, you know, let me know, and you know, we can meet with John. I'm going to invite my son and my wife, who are also trustees, to see what the chances are of incorporating the festival into, you know, our different respective districts. So that was interesting. It was a good conference, and enjoyed it. It was fun and also educational. Thank you.
How about Ms. Perez? Anything to report out? Thank you, Ms. Quintas Barrera.
Yes, I just wanted to say, I went to DLAC, the DLAC meeting that takes place in this very building. It was really nice, and I really wanted, excuse me, to congratulate Principal Medina. She was there, and she had 4 parents there. Her table was full. And I know sometimes not everybody could go to all of the meetings all of the time, but there was a couple tables that didn't have any representatives from their respective schools. You know, so I don't know if principals or vice principals are assigned to go, or is it voluntary, but it was a really good, it was a good meeting and good information. We had a presentation from Dr. Fernandez and Ms. Garcia on the dashboard and Title I, and it was just a great meeting, but I did want to congratulate, she's the principal at Cesar Chavez School, yeah, for having that many parents there. And I know something happened with Mr. Franzel and science. They were recognized or had a bunch of people at their school for science. I just saw it briefly and wanted to kind of give him a shout out on it, but I can't completely remember it. So I'm gonna something that has to do, I remember, with science. And we all know Mr. Franzel does a pretty good job over there, but that's it. Thank you, President Garcia.
Thank you. And I too attended the CSB conference and I did find it very informative and very entertaining. Okay, the Superintendent, Ms. Ansel, anything to report?
Yeah, well, it's to, I'm kind of doing a little spotlight, and it's to um, appreciate the service that our officers for the 2020, well, 2025 board meeting officers. We have some plaques that we'd like to recognize you for your service for this year. Because it's, besides the meetings, you have to attend agenda reviews, you do other things that you have to do as a president, or you sign your life away on documents. So we want to make sure we give you congratulations and appreciation. So we have some plaques to present.
Okay. All righty. JEJ, Jews for Jesus.
Okay, I'm going to start here with Ms. Beatriz Perez in recognition of your service as board clerk during 2025. In appreciation to Mr. Robert Ocampo in recognition of your service as board vice president during 2025. And this is with appreciation to Leticia Garcia in recognition of your service as board president during 2025. And then there's the major accomplishments there during your year of service as board president: grand opening of Buckhorn Early Learning Center, grand opening of Alisag Community School in Fremont Elementary, grand opening of the new TK Kinder Wing for Cesar E. Chavez Elementary, transition all 12 sites to community schools model. And so today is presented to you December 10th.
So I'm very honored and I'm very happy. I thought I was going to pass the baton on tonight, but I still have to finish the meeting today. So here I go. So we are on item 6, consent agenda. Approve, ratify contracts, MOUs, agreements, grants, proposals, conferences, workshops, and field trips. Approval of consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
I think I heard Ms. Perez first, and I got a second from Mr. Ocampo.
sure.
Comments or questions?
I had a question. I wonder, we had a concern about 6H. I think it was from the union, if I remember correctly. And I'm not aware of the history or the issues, but they sounded like like important issues, or I'm wondering what the board, how the board would feel about maybe tabling this for another meeting and having, I guess, maybe more communication with the union. I don't know how the board feels about that.
Thank you. Any other comments or?
Well, I think the backup information was pretty good. I don't know if there's confusion at the school as far as what it is, because I did get a couple of calls from some Fremont teachers, so I looked more into the backup information. But I really don't think that there's a necessity to table it, because I think Mrs. Anzo can answer our questions about it now. And I think a new question for me, when it's my turn to ask a question, I'll ask, and it's what she said about parents not knowing that their kids are going to be followed, and I just can't see that. So I don't know if that's something that's written somewhere, or I know some of the teachers at Fremont were sharing that it's an audit, that it's just to check them out to see what they're doing. And what I read, it's going to be professional development. But I think also, as being responsible as a board, it's time that we start providing these kind of support systems for our teachers. And yeah, they're time consuming, I guess, if you're going to be meeting with someone, but we're going to have to work it out on when is this going to happen? Is it going to be during teaching time? Because it's not fair to say, you know what, we want you to raise our scores for students, but at the same time, you're going to be having these visitors in your classroom, and they're going to be pulling your kids out or anything. So I think there's maybe parts that we do need some clarification on it, because it's a big thing, I think, at Fremont School.
So I think if I can answer some of those questions, if we can look at it a different way, it's not doing something to someone. It's not picking at anyone. It's not looking to see, what are you doing wrong? It's not that. It is a baseline study of the system. And the system is designed and built for student achievement. And so we need to look at how the system is designed for students if we want to change some of the outcomes. So we do have 4 schools that are mentioned, because all schools are going to go through the study, including not just the schools, but including our central office, including we will be interviewed, is how are we designing the system for our 7,108 students, as mentioned tonight. How are we designing the systems to get those results? And yes, I think it was mentioned there was $200,000 for the contract, but how much money are we investing and not getting results, right? So when we are looking at how we are investing in the system and what we're designing, and we all have good intentions, and we have our professional opinions, and we look at facts. Last board meeting, you heard from Frank Paul, you heard from our California dashboard. I presented some information to you. Tonight, you heard from another school, which is Fremont, and we're still looking at the data. And I think there's one thing that we can say is, yes, there's some growth, but it's minimal growth. And we want to know what, if we're designing the system and we're giving our professional opinions and say, well, we should try this now, we should try that now. How much can our students afford for us to keep trying things? And so we want to bring in somebody who is neutral, who doesn't know our teachers, our students, our leaders, but more than anything is going to come in and look at how we've designed a system to produce critical thinkers, to make sure that our students are learning and they can apply their learning in the real world.
Yes, Ms. Guadalupe.
So what
Vilpas.
about the comment the teachers union president said that students will be talking to these people without parents knowing? Where's that coming from?
I'm not sure. We have not moved forward with any other action until if it's approved tonight, then we are meeting with our, meaning Orenda is going to come out on Monday and meet with the principals. And then right after that, we will be meeting with our union, both certificated and classified. And so that way they have a chance to hear from Arenda on the study.
But that's after.
Yes, but the comment of, I don't, if the parents are going to be informed, I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, because I think there was some misinformation. The teachers even used the word audit, that they were told it was going to be like an audit. And of course, nobody, I mean, we don't, who likes an audit? But I did share, there's a saying in Spanish, el que nada teme, nada, el que nada, how? Nada debe, how so don't be afraid even if it was an audit or looking into, if we're doing what's right, and kids aren't progressing. Let's open our minds, or let's be objective to ways that the leadership, because Dr. Fernandez put this together, is trying to support. Because that's how I would look at it. I would never go along with something that they did to kids that the parents didn't know about, because we don't do that. So I don't know where that came from. Seems like it's not part of the plan there. I think if it happens, then you need to talk to the principal there at that school or whatever. And maybe it was just presented. I don't know who did the presentation or what, but some of the teachers there are freaking out. So if we could, I think, reach out to them and explain that it's to support them, that maybe we can do that again. And I would support it and don't see the need. I don't know if Mr. Ocampo still would like to table it, but
No, I think again, I feel I should know more about it, but I thought the explanation that our superintendent gave was very good. And obviously we want to move forward. And if we're talking about, creating a baseline for our students and, finding out how we can serve them better. And that's what we've been talking about for the last month or two. So I see it as part of the bigger issue of having our principals becoming, what's the word, really proficient in instructional matters, and really making sure that their teachers are teaching at their highest levels, sort of become master instructional teachers themselves, or know what to look for. And this sounds to me like you're beginning to build a foundation of that with this study that you're going to do. And I'm all for that. So I think it's been answered, to my satisfaction. Yeah, I'm ready to support it. I believe you. Yeah.
My turn. Okay. So, yeah, I think they're looking at systems, right? What systems are working? I think in the past, the board, some of our board members up here have asked about, like, we understand that we approve all these things for schools, including STORM and Achieve 3000. There's just every single school is paying for something extra, but we never really know whether or not we're getting results from that. So I think Arenda study will give us, like, I think we've been saying is baseline, but like a baseline study, so that we take it from there. It seems like a lot of money, but I think in the end, maybe it'll be worth it if we kind of get down to what it is we're missing, or what it is that we can improve on, or yeah. Anyway, I'm from your neighboring district, and yes, they have a rent over there, and I didn't have any knowledge that we were going to be going into rent. So there's no influence there. But I am from a neighboring district, and I'm the teacher on the neighboring district. And so how does it affect me? I mean, I think they've had the Arenda study for 1 year, I believe, and there's a lot of surveys. They survey the teachers, so they get a lot of information from the teachers too. I think they survey the students. In other words, they ask them questions about things, how they like or what they like about the schools and stuff like that. And maybe with that, they probably will get permission from the parents. But yeah. What they did for us is that I think they did do a lot of streamlining, right? They said, okay, you've got all these, they called them the ornaments on the Christmas tree. And so they wanted to take off a bunch of ornaments because you had too many. So what does that mean for the classroom teacher? In my site was that they wheedled down a lot of the programs that perhaps weren't really giving us the data or giving us the results we wanted. So anyway, all right. We're back down to consent agenda. Did I get a motion? I did. Who motioned it? Ms. Bettis. Okay, was there a second? Mr. Ocampo, sorry. So we're at the comments and questions. Mrs. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
trustee Robert Ocampo,
Yes.
trustee Beatriz Perez,
Yes.
trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Okay, item 7, business services. A, action item, adopt resolution number 2526-11, budgetary increases and transfers at first interim for fiscal year 2025-2026. May I get a motion?
So move.
Mr. Ocampo, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Bettis, comments or questions? Ms. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
trustee Robert Ocampo,
Yes.
trustee Beatriz Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Item 7B, action item 2025-2026, first interim budget report. May I get a motion to approve that first interim budget report?
Motion.
Mrs. Perez, can I get a second?
Second.
Mr. Ocampo, comments or questions? Mrs. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia.
Yes.
Trustee Robert Ocampo.
Yes.
Trustee Beatriz Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Item 7C, information, developer fee report, fiscal year 2024-2025, and that was Mr. Obasi. Item 8, human resources. A, action item, request for additional full-time equivalent position translator clerk. May I get a motion?
Motion.
Ms. Perez, and can I get a second?
Second.
Mrs. Gilbas Barrera, comments or questions? Mrs. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia.
Yes.
Trustee Robert Ocampo.
Yes.
Trustee Beatriz Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Item 8B, action item, request for additional full-time equivalent positions, paraeducator 5, 4, what is this, 4? Yeah, can I get a motion? Mrs. Gilbas Barrera, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Perez, comments or questions? Mrs. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. Trustee Leticia Garcia.
Yes.
Trustee Robert Ocampo.
Yes.
Trustee Beatriz Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Trustee Jose Antonio Jimenez. Sorry. Motion passes 4-0 with one absent. I was just reading.
Thank you. Item 9, administrative services. A, action item, designate LSL Union School District nominees for Monterey County School Boards Association, MCSBA 2026 Excellence in Education Award. So this is where we can nominate somebody off that list. Anybody would like to nominate? Do we have the list in front of us?
So I have a list here. And if it helps, I went through the list and I can, because there's like 30, I think. And it says we need to nominate the top 3. And I went through the list and I just looked at those that we've worked with. So, you know, we have Centro Binacional para el Desarrollo Indígena Oaxaqueño. Then Equine Healing, it's the one what they do with the horses therapy. So we've worked with that group. And then we also work with Partners for Peace. We still have the mobile medical clinic, health clinic that comes here to our district. We also work with Read to Me Project. And then we've worked with United Way of Monterey. They were donors for our Buckhorn Center. So those were some that I recognized, but I can read some of them off here. Is Aerial Theater, Bob Hoover Academy, Boys and Girls Club, California Rodeo, Carmel Ideas Foundation Student Ideas Festival and Festival 2 Schools, Christine Marie's Star Writers, Door to Hope, Evans College Incentive Program, and then the Cachuga Children's Center, Guitars Not Guns, Hartnell Mi Casa, Montage Health Prescribed Safe, Monterey County Rape Crisis Center, we also do work with them. Monterey County Human Trafficking Task Force, we participated with them. Monterey Peninsula College Basic Needs Program, Motivating Interconnected Leadership for Public Advancement, so that's MILPA. National Steinbeck Center, North County Youth Recreation Association, One Starfish Safe Parking, Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History, Palenque Arts, Partners for Peace, I read that one already, Restorative Justice Partners Incorporated, so RJP, we've done some work with them as well, Seaside Youth Center, Dole Treasures, Special Olympics Northern California, Stage Kids Sunset Cultural Center, the Arts Council for Monterey County, we do some work with them as well. The Epicenter, the Monterey County Agriculture and Rural Life Museum, and then the Porter Youth Center, Tim Tebow Foundation, Village Project, the Wahini Project, Wonderwood Ranch, and then the I can't say that. YWCA, Monterey County. I think I was trying to say YMCA, and that was it. And so last year, the winner for that Excellence Award in 2025 was the Girls Health and Girls Hands, and in 2024, Special Kids Connect, 2023 Greenfield Community Science Workshop. And so I don't know if you want me to read down the whole list. They have all the way for 2007. So those were some of I highlighted, just that I know that we do work with them. They help especially our family resource centers do a lot of work with Read to Me Project, or the schools, a few schools. But I think with 3 nominees that we could rank in order from our highest to our lowest.
Do we each mention, or how do we do it?
I think we can take suggestions now, maybe from you guys. I mean, and then we'll all see. I mean, I would like to kind of go with who we actually worked with in the past, but we want to start with you?
Sure, yeah, I think I'd like to put out there the Arts Council for Monterey County, Partners for Peace, and it's a mobile, I forget the name, it's a mobile medical, right, unit. I don't remember
Yes,
what
the
it's
mobile
called.
clinic, the
Mo-
Salinas
Mobile
Valley-
clinic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those are my top 3, I think, yeah.
I would do Partners for Peace, Door to Hope, and I really like the Bob Hoover Academy?
Bob Hoover, yeah.
They won that Golden Bell.
Did they have they won this award before?
No.
The Bob Hoover?
Yeah, they're the one.
I heard Partners for Peace, that was the second time. Yes. Ms. Gilpa?
Here goes the third.
Okay.
Yeah, for Partners for Peace, the Arts Council, and also the mobile clinic.
Okay. Those two, mobile clinic. And then you, Ms. Bettis, you said Bob Hope, and then you said one, Doors to Hope. Doors to Hope.
Bob Hope's a movie star.
Bob Hope, Doors to
Rest
Hope.
in peace.
Bob Hoover
What was
Academy.
it? Bob Hoover. I mixed it all together. Okay.
And so it looks like Partners for Peace is a given, right? Because I think
Yes.
3 of us already, well, 3, and I'm okay with Partners for Peace. That's a great organization. Yeah, and I don't mind the mobile clinic, because I think mobile clinic is really important, and it's, I've used it a couple of times to get my free shots arm.
Okay.
And I'm sure our families have used it when they come to the sites, right? They do come to the sites. I've seen them. But let's see. See, I was going for the equine. I like the horses. Yeah, we're down to. Did everyone say mobile?
So
How
right
many?
now it's the number 1 is Partners for Peace, because I think all of you said that.
Yes.
And then the Salinas Valley Memorial Hospital Mobile Clinic, there
Okay.
was 3 votes for that one.
Okay.
And then we need a third one.
So we're at Doors to Hope, Bob Hoover.
No, there's 2
Oh,
different ones.
Arts Council.
My fault. And the
We-
Arts Council.
we
Arts
have
Council
2.
has 2. And then the Bob Hoover has 1, Doors to Hope has 1.
over to Hoover, because I know they do good work out there. Out there at airport, I think they teach students to actually fix planes and fly
and
them
fly.
too. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Bob Hoover? Okay,
Yeah, they've done some good work.
Sounds good to me.
okay. So now the,
Their program's really cool.
No, no, I agree.
And what they do for the kids, like,
and
you
some
know.
of those are students for ours. Okay, so so I guess
We're
that
good?
would be the motion now, right?
All right, okay,
So
let's
the
see.
motion is to have those.
Okay, the motion is to have Partners for Peace, SVMH Mobile Clinic, and Bob Hoover be the three that LSL nominates for the Monterey County School Boards Association. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Guibas Parera?
Second.
Ms. Perez? Comments or questions? Mrs. Anzo, can you please take the line vote?
Yes, trustee Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
trustee Robert Ocampo.
Yes.
Trustee Beatriz Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Guilpas Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Righty. Item 10, future agenda items. Site report, Martin Luther King Jr., Principal Jose Juan Urquizo, January 14th. Item B, fiscal year 2024-2025 audit, Director of Fiscal Services, Lane Mendoza, January 14th. And then student achievement update, Deputy Superintendent Clara Fernandez. When is that going to happen? Is that like just future?
Yeah, those are
February,
future.
maybe? Okay, and then number 11, future meeting dates, January 14th and January 18th.
Mhm.
Is this including what we adopted today?
So
That's the right date?
That's why it's tentative, but
Mhm.
yes, those will be.
Okay, so the next meeting would be January the 14th.
Yes.
Okay, public comments, number 12A, individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees on closed session agenda items may do so at this time, starting time 7:01. No? Okay, ending time will be 7:01. We're going to adjourn to close session at, I'm going to call it 7:02. And 12B, break. After a 10-minute break, closed session will begin promptly at 7:12. Thank you, everybody, and have a good evening if you're leaving us tonight. Okay, time reconvened from closed session is 7:39 PM. Under item 14B, there is nothing to report. Item 15, before we adjourn for the evening, we want to take a moment to honor the memory of two people. The first one being Ethan Rodriguez, a 14-year-old former student from the Alisal School District who was unalived this past week. And also, we want to honor the memory of Felipa Sanchez, who passed away November 17th. She was 89 years old. She spent 28 years working at Fremont Elementary as campus supervisor. She had just retired in 2024. Let's give a moment of silence for both of them. And with that, I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 7:40 PM. Have a safe and happy holiday season from all of us at Al School District. Thank you, everybody. Good evening.